Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of 15 March 2016. Another Tuesday night where I'm taking a break from primary election returns to do a knife video. It's therapy for me because I tend to get a little too wrapped up in the machinations of this world system. So sometimes I just need to take a break, take a breath, get to something simple like a fixed blade knife review or a from the Sharpening Bench video, as this one is. And I bet you can tell before I ever pull it out of the sheath what it is, at least who made it. Yes, it is another look at a Bark River knife. This particular one is the Bark River Bravo EDC. From the wildly popular Bravo series of, let's call them military field knives, from our friends in Escanaba, Michigan, USA. So the Bravo EDC is the EDC sized Bravo. Imagine that. This is a 3 1/4 inch blade fashioned of 129.129 inches stock of Elmax steel, a modern Gen 3 powdered super stainless steel from Germany. It is convex ground from about 80% of its height down to the edge, and convexed very thinly for its stock thickness. Behind the edge is a pretty thin dimension, not quite as thin but close to the thinness behind the edge of the featherweight Fox River that you've seen reviewed on this channel. And these come in a few different versions. Some of them will have a jimped thumb ramp. This is a rampless version. And some of them have a straighter spine. I would call them all drop points, but this particular Bravo EDC is designated as a drop point version by Bark River, which means the tip, the point, drops from the spine just a little more than the standard one, which puts the tip more down the middle of the axis of the handle, which might make it a little bit better light bushcraft knife. A little more suitable for drilling holes, perhaps. I really like this knife, and I don't know if I talked about it much on my review of the featherweight Fox River. I'm going to set these down next to one another for a second, so you can get an idea how similar they are in size. I toiled over my purchase of the featherweight Fox River quite a bit and went back and forth between these two knives. You know, like I thought I was really going to have one Bark River EDC knife. There are some things I liked better about both of them. Aesthetically, I liked the Bravo EDC better. I just thought the proportions of blade and handle were a little better. I thought the featherweight Fox River had, I thought the pommel area of the knife was a little ungainly looking. Not so in hand, but I just thought the profile of the Bravo EDC was superior aesthetically. I like the sharpening notch that the featherweight Fox River does not have, but I like the way the choil uses all of the handle. A little more economical size usage, I thought, in a small blade with the featherweight Fox River. And of course, I preferred the 85,000th stock for an EDC blade and its slicing ability over the little over 1/8 inch stock on the Bravo EDC. But you can see why it would be a difficult choice to make. In fact, after handling this knife today, then the knives I'm reviewing tonight or looking at both belong to my customer Jim, After having this in hand all day today, I really kind of like it. Shocking. Another Bark River knife that I like. I'm not going to say I like it more than my featherweight Fox River, but there is definitely room for both of them on my shelf of fixed blade Bark Rivers in the safe room. So anyway, just a beautiful, beautiful knife. And this is kind of a base configuration. Green canvas, micarta scales, plain pins, no liners. Kind of one of the less expensive ways to go for a Bravo EDC. If I didn't mention it, the handle is 3 3/4 inches long with a 3 1/4 inch blade, which ought to make an overall length of about exactly 7 inches. Weight on the knife, 3.1 ounces. With sheath, 4.6. So we have a pretty sturdy, very capable little fixed blade knife, and the carry system is only 4.6 ounces. That rocks. It really does. And guys, I've sharpened quite a few of these Bark Rivers in LMAX by now, and from the perspective of a sharpener, I have got to tell you, the reports of Bark River destroying heat-treated LMAX with their grinding process, I find to be greatly exaggerated. Now, I haven't, tried to chop up a cinder block with this or baton through a 14-inch tree trunk, but you can tell a lot by the way metal comes off a blade in your sharpening system if you sharpen 30 knives a week or so. Not only does this LMAX sharpen to an extremely keen edge, it does it while leaving very little burr, even down on my 220 grit paper stage of sharpening. So the grind resistance is still there, the wear resistance is still there, and man does it take an edge. Man does it take an edge. That's Whisper Quiet LMAX. I know this thing push cut this morning. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. There's just not a lot to complain about with this knife, and I think it's actually a little more economical package in overall length than the featherweight Fox River, which means I could probably go with my sort of preferred carry system for these little EDC blades from Bark River. Just, wear a pair of jeans with deep front pockets and drop her down in there. The belt loop is here. Fire steel loop is here. But I kind of like to just drop them in my pocket because they're kind of small. They're a little hard to fish out and resheath if I have them on a belt. Just my personal preference. I did have to, by the way, just full disclosure, I did have to enlarge the sharpening notch just a hair to get good, clean, straight, continuous edge all the way to the back. But I have to do that on a lot of Bark Rivers, so not something I really think about much. I just do it. And our normal, gorgeous, beautiful, precise construction. One thing about Bark River, you'll rarely find a fit and finish problem on one of their handles. If I find anything that consistently appears, and this one really doesn't seem to have it, but they are hand ground knives, and sometimes you'll see that the plunge grinds don't necessarily start in the same place from one side to the other, and the grind might not be super symmetrical. But it's a totally free-flowing grinding process. This is a guy standing in front of a belt sander, a slack belt sander, by hand, eyeballing it, making it right. You might take a little more off one side than the other to make it right. its life in the world of freehand, hand-ground knife blades. This one is actually very, very symmetrical, which I think you can see. Pretty darn good. I sure do like it. It is in, for me, large glove size, by the way. In a saber grip, it is a 4-finger knife inside the pommel point, and the same in a forward pinch grip, which is not so for me on the featherweight Fox River. I kind of make it a 3-finger knife in the pinch grip. It's a 4-finger knife in the saber grip, just so you know. And super comfortable with lots of control in virtually every grip. The featherweight Fox is probably better in that sort of vertical draw cut grip because of that oddly large pommel and how it hits the hand, the way it buries into that palm pad. But it had to look like a Bravo, and it certainly isn't bad in that grip. Not at all. Just a great little knife, and not super expensive either. And isn't it gorgeous? Just, you know, if you looked in the dictionary for small fixed blade knife, this is the picture you'd expect to see, isn't it? Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. This is a genuine Bark River. Thought you'd like to see it. On its way home tomorrow, Jim. Don't panic, my friend. So grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember the word in Jim's Bravo EDC are sharp.